He vaguely grasped the meaning behind the Lord of the Sealed Realm's words. Heavenly tribulation is not just a trial, but also a form of fortune. 9 is the ultimate limit. After the 9 palaces, 8 trigrams, 7 stars, 6 harmonies, and 5 elements, there must still be 4, 3, and 2. I don't know what the 4 and 3 represent, but the 2 must be yin and yang. From 9 to 2, each step evolves layer by layer into the final one. Could that one be the extreme heavenly tribulation, the very essence of the extreme realm? Wang Lin's heart pounded wildly, though he couldn't be completely certain. Still, if he didn't take this chance, if he didn't fight to the very end to see with his own eyes whether that one was the extreme realm he had yearned for all his life, he would never forgive himself. Just then, the 7 stars came crashing down. In the distance, the demon sect's grand elder's expression shifted. Although the sect master had not mentioned the identity of the one facing this tribulation, his final words and the jade pendant made it clear that this person was no stranger to him. The elder's eyes gleamed, and he was about to step forward to help Wang Lin endure the tribulation and shield him from the 7 stars' judgment. No need for aid, senior. This tribulation, I'll face it alone. Wang Lin's voice echoed like thunder. The grand elder froze mid-step, and at that instant, the 7 stars descended. The 7 stars carried a monstrous, murderous aura as they crashed down. 7 beams of starlight slammed into Wang Lin. Amid the deafening roar, blood burst from his body. His essence spirit trembled, and he was flung backward, his face pale. Still, he forced his head up and burst into loud laughter. The moment the 7 stars entered his body, he instantly felt a connection to the 8 trigrams and 9 palaces within him. As they activated together, they formed a devastating new force, threatening to shatter him entirely. But within that destructive force, Wang Lin faintly sensed the aura of the extreme realm. He was intimately familiar with it. After all, in the distant past, the extreme realm had accompanied him for centuries. The moment he felt that trace of the extreme realm, how could Wang Lin not be elated? Even while gravely injured, his body on the verge of collapse, he laughed with joy. He raised his arms and swung them outward, allowing the tortoise shell formed by the 6 harmonies to smash into his body with full force. With another heaven-shaking explosion, Wang Lin's body was torn and bloody, yet he fiercely protected the place where Li Qianmei was hidden. His ancient god flesh, especially that of a 6-star ancient god, was unimaginably resilient. Even under such an assault, it began to recover madly. The tortoise shell formed by the 6 harmonies fused into his body upon impact, instantly merging with the 7 stars, 8 trigrams, and 9 palaces. Within his essence spirit, they exploded. His essence spirit shattered, but he locked it within his body, refusing to let it dissipate. Wang Lin's eyes were unfocused, but his gaze remained resolute. With a sweep of his right hand, he took out and swallowed a massive number of pills. The moment the pills entered his body, the palm seal of the 5 elements descended. As the invisible palm imprint approached, a sharp glint lit up Wang Lin's eyes. This was the moment he had been waiting for. Struggling forward, he took a sudden step and opened his mouth to devour the flame-based palm seal. Heaven and earth flame, fuse with my body, shape my essence spirit. Wang Lin roared as he swallowed the fire hand seal whole. The boundless flames surged into him, forming a heat wave that swept across his shattered essence spirit. And under that searing power, his essence spirit began to reform. Deep within, the fire origin emerged, swirling around the reformed spirit, spinning wildly as it absorbed the fire's might. At the same time, the palm seals of metal, wood, water, and earth crashed down, landing on Wang Lin and leaving 4 distinct marks that burrowed into his body and unleashed destruction within. Li trigram of fire. Xun trigram of thunder. Protect my flesh. Wang Lin growled. At his command, the 8 trigrams imprint within his body split, revealing the Li and Xun components. Under Wang Lin's control, they surged through his body to resist the invading palm seals. These 2 trigram forces had been lying dormant in his body, and their sudden eruption caught even the heavenly tribulation by surprise. Thanks to the terrifying regeneration of the ancient god body, Wang Lin's formidable cultivation, and the dual help of the 8 trigrams and the fire palm seal, he managed to forcibly endure the collapse brought by the 5 elements. From 9 palaces, 8 trigrams, 7 stars, 6 harmonies, to the 5 elements, he had survived. Is that all you've got? Wang Lin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and roared up at the vortex of the heavenly tribulation. 4 symbols. Immeasurable. A vague voice responded with no emotion, neither joy nor sorrow, as if echoing Wang Lin's defiance, resonating through the heavens and earth. As that voice spread, the vortex of the tribulation, in the blink of an eye, a surge of excitement encircled Wang Lin's body, accompanied by deafening roars. Meanwhile, on Wang Lin's ancient god body, the vermilion bird's pattern also appeared, and under their mutual radiance, the vermilion bird dove straight into Wang Lin's body. Instantly, flames erupted skyward. Having absorbed the 8 trigrams fire, the 5 elements fire seal, and now the fire of the vermilion bird of the heavenly tribulation, the flames within Wang Lin had reached an unimaginable peak. The vermilion bird within him had awakened 3 times, and with each awakening, his understanding of the power of fire had skyrocketed. After the 3rd awakening, his mastery over the fires of heaven and earth had reached an incredible level, even giving birth to his very own source. All fire-related divine abilities would bow before him. Any cultivator who practiced fire arts could have their internal flame powers manipulated by Wang Lin, killing with a mere gesture. Especially after the birth of his source, Wang Lin's control over fire had reached its limit, but this limit applied only to physical fire. Fire exists in 2 forms. One is tangible fire, encompassing many types. The other is ethereal fire, an enigmatic force far beyond tangible flames. One cannot reach the realm of ethereal fire unless they have perfected tangible fire. Rage flame, a form of ethereal fire, lacks a tangible form but surpasses the power of all earthly flames. It is a Tao, a spirit, and a state of mind. If Wang Lin could make the vermilion bird undergo its 4th transformation, its 4th awakening, reaching the realm of ethereal fire, even those without fire arts could be consumed by his rage flame, burning themselves with fury. Of all the flames in the world, rage flame is the strongest. Everyone possesses it. It is formless but real. Once ignited, if the person cannot control it, death is certain. At this moment, after absorbing different flames from the heavenly tribulation, Wang Lin was on the verge of the 4th awakening. He was a mere step away from breaking through the realm of tangible fire and reaching the ethereal fire stage. The vermilion bird's spirit outside his body screeched and merged with him, immediately nourishing and repairing his divine soul. Wang Lin now had enough strength to face the arrival of the other 3 spirits. However, the heavenly tribulation was relentless, and the attacks grew stronger with each wave. Once again, the indistinct voice echoed throughout the world, still cold and emotionless. 3 powers. Immeasurable. The 3 powers, heaven, earth, and man, corresponding to the sun, moon, and stars. Heaven is the sun, earth is the moon, and man is the stars. As the voice spread, the void suddenly shifted, as if becoming chaos, a blur of incomprehensible forms. The power of the sun transformed into Yang, radiating the boundless primordial law. The beginning of all things, this force spread endlessly throughout the void. The moon's power transformed into Yin, embodying the final law, a rule vastly different from the primordial law, unfolding in the void. The power of man, the stars, merged into the chaos, forming a rule Wang Lin had never seen before. It did not belong to the beginning or the end. These 3 strange powers transformed into beams of sunlight, moonlight, and starlight, racing toward Wang Lin. The power they contained was unimaginable, capable of destroying everything. 2 forces. Immeasurable. The indistinct voice rang out once more, coldly reverberating. As it did, another strange phenomenon appeared in the void. The 2 forces, Yin and Yang, life and death, cause and effect. Everything in this world is contained within them. The so-called 2 forces give rise to the 4 symbols, which then become the 9 palaces. These powers complemented the 3 powers, forming a world-shaking force. A massive Taiji symbol appeared in the void. The Taiji formed around Wang Lin as its center and began to spin wildly. With a booming sound, it contracted fiercely, heading straight for Wang Lin. At the same time, the beams of the three powers approached. This power was beyond what Wang Lin could withstand. In an instant, the light of heaven pierced through his forehead, the light of earth through his chest, and the light of man split into 4 parts, entering his limbs. In that very moment, the Taiji symbol of yin and yang crashed down toward Wang Lin, engulfing his entire body in a deafening roar. Booms echoed, and even Wang Lin's 6-star ancient god body could not withstand this devastating force. His flesh was shredded, blood splattering everywhere, but Li Qianmei remained unharmed. This heavenly tribulation only sought to kill Wang Lin. It ignored everyone else. One calamity, the beginning of the immeasurable tribulation. Just as Wang Lin's body was about to collapse, the indistinct voice echoed slowly through the world. As it spoke, the void seemed to shatter, and flashes of light appeared out of nowhere. The 9 palaces, 8 trigrams, 7 stars, 6 directions, 5 elements, 4 symbols, 3 powers, and 2 forces all appeared, circling around each other, and from within them, a force of extreme heavenly Tao was born. This was the extreme. Despite his severe injuries, Wang Lin's Tao heart, his Tao will, and his comprehension had already reached an extraordinary level. At this moment, something unexpected happened. Within his body, the 9 palaces to the 2 forces began to transform with the heavenly tribulation. Inside his body, something extreme was also born. The 9 palaces of the void transformed, with 9 starry sky meteors arranged in a pattern. Within them, the 8 trigrams flickered, rotating around each other. Inside the 8 trigrams, the 7 stars spread out, emitting an overwhelming murderous aura. Within the 7 stars, the 6 directions turtle shell expanded, and even deeper within, the 5 elements flowed. Layer upon layer spread out, overlapping one another. Inside the 5 elements, 4 roars and howls echoed out. These were the 4 spirits intertwining with each other. Every time they rotated, it caused the outer layers to rotate as well. Deep within the 4 spirits, the light of heaven, earth, and man, the 3 powers, rushed forth, enveloping the pitch-black void in brilliant light. At the very center of the 3 powers, the 2 forces appeared. The 2 forces of yin and yang formed a Taiji diagram, slowly spinning. As it spun, it dragged all the surrounding heavenly tribulations into a roaring rotation. The spinning grew faster and faster, almost blurring its path. But strangely, each layer of heavenly tribulation moved in a way completely different from the others. From the 2 forces to the 9 palaces, these 8 heavenly tribulations turned into 8 vortices. In their distinct rotations, they strangely merged together. With a thunderous roar, as the rotations continued, a shocking beam of light burst forth from the center of the Taiji diagram. The light was colorless, but it radiated a sense of extremity. Everything of heaven and earth, and all the beings in the world, was extreme. The extreme realm. At the same time, within Wang Lin's body, the 9 palaces, 8 trigrams, and all the other tribulations that had merged within him began to turn. Strangely, they formed an identical pattern to the one outside. At the very center of the Taiji diagram, the extreme realm was born. The moment the extreme realm was born, Wang Lin's physical body stopped collapsing, his primordial spirit ceased dissipating, and everything became still. Wang Lin opened his eyes. As his eyes opened and closed, red lightning flashed wildly within his pupils. This red lightning, representing the extreme realm, had not appeared in Wang Lin's eyes for over 1,000 years. His white hair, moving without wind, was suddenly filled with a crimson radiance from its roots, spreading rapidly through his hair. In an instant, his head of white hair had turned red. This red was blood red. The red lightning in his eyes grew more intense, and a towering murderous aura erupted from within him. The extreme realm had arrived. At a tremendous sacrifice, with a resolve to face death, Wang Lin absorbed various heavenly tribulations during the immeasurable tribulation. In that fleeting moment when the sole extreme realm of the tribulation appeared, Wang Lin's body once again gave birth to the long-lost extreme realm. In that instant, the extreme realm formed within the 9 palaces and 2 forces diagram of the heavenly tribulation, and a red lightning bolt shot toward Wang Lin. As it approached, Wang Lin threw his head back and laughed. Red lightning exploded from his eyes, landing on his right hand. He grasped the extreme tribulation force fiercely. When this destructive power entered his body, Wang Lin staggered backward, leaning against the sealed realm grand array. Using his body, which was now familiar with the extreme realm, as a medium, he shot that heavenly tribulation's power directly into the array. The formation rumbled, and the artifact spirits within it suddenly began to transform, preparing to counterattack. However, in that instant, countless green threads appeared on the formation, entangling the artifact spirits, preventing them from materializing. The extreme tribulation force rained down furiously on the sealed realm grand array. The array trembled violently, flashing with a brilliant light. As Wang Lin moved backward, the sealed realm grand array swelled up like a net, stretching infinitely. With the red lightning still flashing in his eyes, Wang Lin raised his right hand and struck the sealed realm grand array with a powerful blow. The extreme realm he had birthed within his body surged forward, heading straight for the array. 2 forces of extreme realm, the extreme of the heavenly tribulation and Wang Lin's own, merged in that instant. They struck the sealed realm grand array, causing an indescribable impact. At that same moment, the green threads on the array multiplied rapidly, creating waves that clashed with the mighty axe, the legendary artifact that Tua Sen recognized as the opening axe of the heavens. When the axe materialized, the green threads on the formation shattered, twisting and resisting the axe's force. Do you not hurry and leave? How long will you wait? The voice of the Lord of the sealed realm echoed with great weariness. As the voice reverberated, the gap in the array widened slightly, revealing a small opening big enough for a person to pass through. Without hesitation, Wang Lin shrank his ancient god body back to its normal size, holding Li Qianmei in his right arm. With a burst of speed, he transformed into a long rainbow and shot through the gap, charging forward. Before him stretched a vast, unfamiliar starry sky, the ancient star of antiquity. And in the distance, hundreds of strange cultivators with exotic clothing stared in shock at the sight before them. These cultivators were none other than the people of the ancient star of antiquity. But just as Wang Lin burst out of the sealed realm grand array, the massive heaven-splitting axe of the ancient god clan, entangled by countless strands of green threads, suddenly trembled and pointed toward him from afar. Then, across the void, it slashed downward with thunderous force. In that instant, a radiant axe radiance shot forth, earth-shattering, heaven-splitting, hurtling straight toward Wang Lin with unstoppable momentum. You are the weapon of my ancient god clan, and you dare to bite the hand that wields you? Wang Lin roared ferociously at the incoming axe radiance. As it closed in, the axe radiance trembled slightly, as though struggling against something, but it ultimately blazed forward and pierced straight through Wang Lin's chest. Blood gushed out violently as a massive wound tore open in his chest. Already severely wounded from the heavenly tribulation, Wang Lin now suffered another devastating blow. His essence spirit was on the verge of collapse, and his physical body, tainted by the ancient god aura within the axe radiance, could no longer heal. Blood poured endlessly. His internal organs shattered. His eyes dimmed, but he kept them locked on the sealed realm grand array, stumbling backward with gritted determination. At that moment, the gap Wang Lin had burst through began rapidly sealing shut. Under the endless binding threads, it became seamless once more. The strands of green light embedded themselves like roots into the opening, sealing it tightly. As for the heaven-splitting axe, it hovered within the array, its blade still aimed at Wang Lin, as if its weapon spirit were staring at him. After a long pause, the massive axe slowly faded, merging into the sealed realm grand array and disappearing. Wang Lin, now on the brink of unconsciousness, staggered backward. Just then, the cultivators outside the array, the defenders of the ancient star of antiquity, snapped out of their stunned stupor. Their eyes blazed with killing intent. Between the outer realm and inner realm, slaughter knows no justification. This was a war between races. Either you die, Or I do. Kill him. He's escaped from the inner realm. He's gravely wounded. Kill him. The clan will surely reward us. He's been struck by the array spirit. He's dying now. Kill. The people of the ancient star of antiquity surged forward, murderous aura surging skyward, their eyes filled with cruelty and savagery as they transformed into streaks of light, charging straight for Wang Lin. Among these outer realm cultivators, their cultivation varied, none lower than the pure nirvana stage, and some had reached the perfect late shattered nirvana stage. Hundreds of cultivators howled toward him. You're courting death. Wang Lin growled. Gravely wounded and weakened, his body trembled, yet his eyes gleamed with a deadly chill. This was the outer realm, the ancient star of antiquity, uncharted territory for him. A place he had only seen in fragments within the seven-colored realm. A place his inner realm ancestors had spent their lives desperately trying to reach. One day, the descendants of our cultivation path will break through this formation, and every last one of you outer realm vermin will be wiped out. Your blood will flood the heavens. The furious howls of that immortal before his death echoed clearly in Wang Lin's ears. His gaze sharpened as he looked at the unfamiliar star domain ahead, then back at the sealed realm grand array vanishing behind him. One step across that boundary marked the separation of countless lifetimes. The rainbow streaks, the outer realm cultivators, drew closer. In an instant, they arrived. Grim faces, eyes filled with bloodlust and murder, were now etched clearly in Wang Lin's vision. His eyes flashed. With a flick of his left hand, he formed a hand seal and tapped several times on his chest. In a calm whisper, he chanted, Immortal art. Spirit devouring, flesh-consuming, heaven-severing technique. Back in the Thunder Immortal realm, the moment Xun'er appeared, he had gone on a rampage. Every cultivator he killed had their essence spirit devoured, their flesh consumed, their very being turned into fuel for his healing and cultivation. This cruel and terrifying divine art was Xun'er's own creation. In his entire life, he had only passed it on to one person, Wang Lin. In all of existence, inner realm and outer realm, only Wang Lin and Xun'er knew this brutal immortal art. No, this was no immortal art. This was the pinnacle of demonic arts. Now, for the first time in his life, Wang Lin activated it. His body instantly shriveled, turning into a skeletal figure. A savage aura exploded from within him. Even the gaping wound on his chest began to twitch, stopping the blood from flowing. Just as the outer realm cultivators reached him, a chilling, eerie laughter echoed. Wang Lin took a single step forward, and in the blink of an eye, his body turned into a cloud of black mist. It surged forward and enveloped the nearest cultivator. Within the black mist, the cultivator let out a soul-piercing scream, shaking the heavens, its tone filled with uncontainable terror. All the surrounding cultivators turned pale. The black mist shifted instantly, merging with the heavens and earth before vanishing without a trace. The cultivator who had been caught moments before was left as nothing more than skin and bones, his eyes turned a lifeless gray, still frozen in overwhelming terror. All his life essence had been drained away, and in the next instant, his physical body collapsed with a thunderous crash. For these outer realm cultivators guarding the formation, the nightmare was only just beginning. Here in the outer realm, Wang Lin, who could unleash the shrinking earth technique and wield the forbidden spirit devouring flesh-eroding grand art, was their living nightmare. Behind one mid-pure nirvana stage outer realm cultivator, a sudden mist emerged. Before he could even turn around, an agonizing pain struck his back. The black mist had taken form behind him and pierced straight into his body. Amid his horrified screams, his body swelled uncontrollably. In mere moments, his entire body exploded from within. Blood splattered everywhere. The nightmare had begun. Even his essence spirit was devoured completely, leaving nothing behind. That agonized death wail echoed through the tranquil starry sky, shaking heaven and earth, spreading far and wide. Form the array. As fear gripped the surrounding outer realm cultivators, a thunderous roar erupted from an old cultivator at the perfect shattered nirvana stage. At his shout, the surrounding cultivators immediately retreated, forming hand seals. Instantly, glowing marks appeared at the center of their brows. Yet, In the very instant that old man's roar rang out, his expression changed drastically. He swiftly retreated in panic, but it was too late. The black mist, having absorbed the remains of the earlier cultivator, came howling toward him. Within just a few breaths, it vanished into the heavens and earth, leaving no trace. The old man wasted no time, unleashing his full primordial energy outward in a sudden eruption. A powerful shockwave rippled from him, thundering through the air and sweeping in all directions. He's gravely wounded. If we scatter our cultivation, he won't dare to approach. He had barely spoken when, behind him, the void twisted. The black mist appeared again, and from within it, two piercing eyes suddenly emerged, crackling with crimson lightning. They radiated an overwhelming force, chilling the starry sky as if plunging it into the dead of winter. In that instant, the crimson lightning drew every gaze present. Blood-red and blindingly intense, it became the sole eternal imprint in their hearts. Especially the old man. His pupils shrank violently, the crimson lightning reflecting within them. Suddenly, the crimson lightning pierced through the black mist and, at an unimaginable speed, shot straight toward him. With a fierce roar, the old man formed hand seals, slamming his palm forward repeatedly as he desperately retreated. His left hand clawed at the air before his chest, summoning a massive ghost-faced shield that appeared before him. Yet the terror of death had never been so overwhelming, surging through his soul in a frenzy. His entire focus, every ounce of his being, was locked onto that crimson lightning. Though the heavens were vast, the starry sky endless, and cultivators numerous, in this moment, the old man felt utterly alone. The starry sky, the heavens, and all others faded away in an instant. In his eyes, only the crimson lightning remained, drawing closer, unstoppable. His right hand, imbued with his entire shattered nirvana cultivation, unleashed a storm of divine arts with every strike, manifesting into radiant waves of power to block the lightning. But the strength of that lightning was far beyond anyone's imagination. With a single flash, thunder roared, but those divine arts collapsed the moment they touched the crimson lightning, utterly powerless. The lightning sliced through them like paper, heading straight for the ghost-faced shield before him. Ancestral spirit protection. The old man's face turned ashen. Both hands pressed onto the shield, veins bulging as he let out a savage roar. Yet before he could even finish his incantation, the crimson lightning crashed violently into the shield. A crackling sound echoed through the starry sky, chilling every cultivator's heart. They watched, wide-eyed, as indescribable terror filled their gazes. The ghost face on the shield twisted and writhed as the crimson lightning neared, opening its mouth wide to swallow it. But the crimson lightning shot directly into its gaping maw. Amid deafening booms, the ghost face let out a horrific shriek before shattering completely. The lightning blasted through, striking the shield itself. With a loud crash, the shield shattered, breaking into countless fragments. As the shield collapsed, the crimson lightning surged forward, piercing into the old man's brow. His body trembled violently, his eyes instantly dimmed, and black blood flowed down his face. Trembling uncontrollably, his body was destroyed from within by the lightning. His essence spirit disintegrated the moment it touched the lightning, unable to resist in the slightest. His sea of consciousness crumbled. His soul was annihilated. Every shred of vitality in his body was wiped away. At that moment, the black mist descended once more, engulfing his body. In the blink of an eye, it receded, leaving behind only a skeletal corpse that disintegrated into ash, scattering in the wind. Is this an outer realm cultivator? A chilling voice echoed from the black mist, reverberating across the starry sky. The appearance of this voice ignited the panic in the hearts of all the cultivators who had already accumulated a great deal of fear in such a short time. To them, the black mist seemed like a nightmare. Anyone who encountered it would immediately die in a tragic, agonizing way. To the cultivators from the inner realm, those from the outer realm were nothing but sheep, like trapped beasts, not even worth a second glance. In their eyes, they were the celestial Tao of the inner realm, and every citizen of the ancient stars could be regarded as the celestial Tao of the inner realm. The inner realm, to them, was nothing more than a wild land, inhabited by savages. But in this moment, all their thoughts shattered. A terrifying wave of fear erupted in their eyes. Without hesitation, they began to retreat frantically, scattering in every direction. They dared not move forward to fight. The only thought in their minds was to flee for their lives. Within the black mist, Wang Lin's figure faintly emerged. He licked his lips. The spirit devouring and body annihilating great technique was incredibly powerful. After devouring several people, Wang Lin's injuries were healing rapidly. The sensation of devouring others was incredibly soothing, as if he had consumed an ascension fruit. It was addictive, something one couldn't bear to give up. His eyes flashed with a red gleam, and at the moment when several hundred cultivators around him scattered in fear, Wang Lin's sinister laughter filled the air. His body suddenly shifted from the black mist and moved forward with a single step. His body was emaciated, surrounded by swirling black mist, as if he had just stepped out of the hellish demon realm. With a single surge, he closed in on an outer realm cultivator. This cultivator appeared young, a mere youth. His eyes revealed indescribable fear, and as Wang Lin approached, he forgot to resist, screaming out in terror. But before the scream could even fully escape, it was abruptly cut off. Wang Lin's left hand gripped tightly around the youth's neck, lifting him off the ground, his body continuing forward without pause, charging with wild speed. As Wang Lin moved, the youth's neck was strangled to the point that no sound could escape. His body trembled violently. Bursts of black mist exploded from within him. In mere moments, his body began to wither away. His essence, soul, primordial energy, and all life force were violently siphoned away by Wang Lin's left hand. With wide eyes and dilated pupils, his body suddenly exploded, as if his entire being had been consumed by Wang Lin's left hand. At the moment of his collapse, Wang Lin reached the side of another outer realm cultivator, a young woman with a delicate appearance. Her eyes filled with endless terror. Though she had been shocked by the earlier devouring of others by the black mist, it had not been as gory. However, the sight before her now was filled with a visual shock. As Wang Lin neared, the bloodthirsty aura immediately filled her nostrils, and she let out a shrill scream. Her body attempted to retreat, but Wang Lin slammed her into his chest, forcefully charging forward, her body pushed ahead by his. The scream grew louder and sharper, but the woman's body began to tremble and wither rapidly, her once beautiful face now reduced to nothing but withered bones. Devil. This person is a devil. Amidst the woman's anguished scream, the cultivators around, frantically fleeing for their lives, were filled with shivers, terror flooding their hearts. The screams continued as Wang Lin's devouring sped up. With his shrinking earth technique, the hundreds of cultivators in the vast starry sky had nowhere to run. Wang Lin could easily catch up to anyone with a single flash. Whether they were male or female, they were all his enemies now. The battle between the inner and outer realms had no reason, only slaughter. Outside the sealing boundary grand array, this bloody massacre raged on. The array stood as the silent witness to this carnage. Faintly, a memory lingered in the air from millions of years ago, when an immortal cultivator from the inner realm had tried to break out of the array, only to be killed by the array spirit. From the outer realm, they watched coldly as the immortal's last screams echoed through the heavens and the earth, reverberating inside and outside the sealing boundary grand array. There will come a day when our descendants will break through this formation, and all of you foreign beings will perish, your blood flowing like rivers in the outer realm. Though blood did not flow like a river, the shock it caused was even more heart-stirring. As the devouring continued, Wang Lin's cultivation rapidly recovered. His primordial spirit was full, his soul solidified, though his chest injury still took time to heal. In this brief time, over half of the hundreds of cultivators had disappeared. Nearly 100 of the most powerful had already fled far away, filled with terror and fear, desperately running for their lives. Licking his lips, Wang Lin suddenly turned and looked at the fleeing cultivators in the distance. His body was shrouded in black mist, engulfing all around him. You can't escape. His body spun sharply, and the black mist swirled into a massive vortex, spinning wildly. As it spun, the vortex grew larger and emitted a powerful suction force. Under this force, Nearly 100 cultivators, who had escaped far away, immediately slowed down, even discovering in terror that their bodies were being rapidly drawn back. The fear of life and death, along with the bloody scenes, shocked these cultivators, causing each of them to fall into despair. At this moment, Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed drastically. He spun around and looked into the distance. Without hesitation, he waved his left hand in front of him, and the black mist around his body immediately transformed into several arms that crazily reached out into the depths, catching up with the cultivators in an instant. The arms wrapped around them, immediately starting to devour them. The screams were endless. All the people guarding the array outside the realm were, from that point, dead. After devouring these cultivators, Wang Lin quickly took a step forward. His figure instantly disappeared without a trace, and as his body vanished, a roar came from the distance. Wang Lin. In the distance, a giant figure, as vast as the starry sky, charged toward this place with a thunderous rumble. He really is in the outer realm. Wang Lin's figure vanished into the heavens and earth. Not long after his figure disappeared, a deafening sound echoed outside the ceiling boundary formation. It was Tua Sen's massive body arriving, emitting a more intense bloody aura. Over the years in the outer realm, he had slaughtered one ancient tribe after another in his fury, even provoking the pursuit of a third-step powerhouse from the ancient stars. If there were only one or two third-step cultivators, Tua Sen would not fear them, and it was very possible that he could even kill them. However, the third-step powerhouses chasing him were not just one or two, but three. Among them, one had already reached the ethereal realm. Although they were still at the mid-stage, they could unleash earth-shattering divine abilities. Just this one alone was enough to give Tua Sen a headache. Tua Sen had been injured years ago when he breached the ceiling boundary formation, and he had also released several third-step powerhouses captured within the star points. He was at his weakest. However, his body was far beyond that of Wang Lin. His body was the true body of an ancient god, the royal ancient god body that had survived for countless millennia. Its strength was unimaginable. Under the pursuit of the three third-step powerhouses, his injuries worsened, but the three of them were not in a better situation either. They were all wounded, unable to harm each other. Only the one at the ethereal realm gave Tua Sen a heavy blow, causing him to retreat in anger. He rampaged and destroyed all living things in his path. The three third-step powerhouses did not press too hard. Instead, they aimed to wear him down to exhaustion. The anger that had been accumulating in Tua Sen's heart for 10 years was enough to scorch the heavens and earth. He sought out Wang Lin but could not find him here, nearly driven to madness. But just as his rage reached its peak, he felt a shock as Wang Lin's aura appeared in the ancient stars. This discovery caused Tua Sen to charge forward without hesitation. Behind him, 3 long rainbows followed from afar. 2 men and 1 woman, their faces unclear, with a twisted field around their bodies, preventing any divine sense or sight. Without stopping, they followed Tua Sen from a distance, flying forward. As Tua Sen stepped forward, the thunderous sound came from the ceiling boundary formation. With a low growl, his right hand clenched into a fist and struck the void. With a resounding roar, the starry sky before him was immediately torn open, revealing a massive rift. His body suddenly shrank, transforming to the size of an ordinary person, and he directly stepped into the rift and vanished. Chase. No matter what, he had to catch up with Wang Lin, devour him, and then turn around to devour the 3 third-step powerhouses behind him to vent his anger. Wang Lin merged into the heavens and earth, using the shrinking earth technique. He had no fixed target, but was doing his best to move toward the farthest place. In the northern part of the ancient stars, within a stretch of starry sky, with the sound of numerous distorted waves, Wang Lin's figure emerged from within. His entire body was still shrouded in black mist. As he stepped out, he did not pause at all and moved forward. But just as his figure appeared, a storm immediately howled in the starry sky behind him. The storm was so powerful that it could not be described, enough to destroy the heavens and earth. With a rumbling sound, the starry sky behind him was immediately torn apart by the storm, revealing a massive rift. A chilling aura poured out, followed by a roar. It was Tua Sen, crazily charging out from the rift. His eyes were blood red, filled with intense greed. Wang Lin. Finally, this god has found you. Wang Lin took a step forward, no longer moving, but instead using the shrinking earth technique again, merging into the heavens and earth. He turned his head and, across the starry sky, looked at Tua Sen, who was about to break out of the rift. His eyes flashed with a red light, and the extreme realm flickered wildly, transforming into red lightning that shot toward Tua Senator with a vicious grin. Tua Sen clenched his right fist and swung it forward with a thunderous blow. A single swing was enough to shatter a cultivation star. His right hand moved with lightning speed, and in the blink of an eye, it collided with the red lightning. The lightning roared as it surged into Tua Sen's body, unleashing a frenzy of destruction. At the same time, however, Tua Sen's counterattack exploded outward with equal force. A portion of it shot directly at Wang Lin, and just as Wang Lin's body melded with the heavens and vanished, it struck him. His body violently trembled, blood spurted from his mouth, and the black mist surrounding him collapsed, vanishing into the void. Tua Sen paused his right hand, and a strange gleam instantly flashed in his eyes. Extreme heavenly tribulation. His expression changed as the red lightning continued to tear through his body, unable to be destroyed. It wreaked havoc, but with the powerful recovery ability of the ancient gods, there was little lasting damage. However, Tua Sen was wounded, and this created hidden dangers. Just as he was about to press his attack, Tua Sen's brow furrowed. 3 long rainbows suddenly shot through the air behind him, accelerating toward him at an alarming speed. The 3 individuals had been following him, and as soon as they saw the red lightning, their vast experience instantly recognized it. Without hesitation, they closed in, transforming into 3 shocking rainbows that charged at Tua Sen. In the starry sky of the ancient star of antiquity, Wang Lin staggered out from the void, his face pale. He spat out another mouthful of blood, and the wound on his chest was torn open again, gushing blood and staining his clothes. This wound carried the aura of the heaven-splitting giant axe, a scent that was nearly impossible for the ancient gods to heal. Unless the aura was intentionally expelled, it would take an extremely slow process for it to heal, if at all. Finding Tua Sen here wasn't unexpected for Wang Lin. Even knowing Tua Sen was here, and even aware that Tua Sen had every intention to kill him, Wang Lin could not shrink back in fear of life and death. He had to press forward. After his body shifted out, he immediately waved his left hand, and the blood sword appeared in his grasp. Without a moment's pause, his body instantly shifted forward. Aside from the extreme realm, he still possessed the blood sword. This sword was also an ancient god artifact. Though it wasn't as powerful as the heaven-splitting giant axe, it was still capable of dealing severe damage to the ancient gods. Wang Lin had briefly encountered Tua Sen earlier, and instantly realized that Tua Sen was much weaker than he had been when compared to the ancient god era. The more important thing, however, was that with Wang Lin's intellect and his knowledge of Tua Sen, he understood that Tua Sen would not hide his presence in this ancient star. He would surely resort to mass slaughter, which would inevitably attract the attention of the third-step great powers of the ancient star, even leading to a potential siege. Tua Sen's injuries, aside from those inflicted when breaking the ceiling boundary formation, must also be related to a previous siege. From the looks of it, he's faintly showing signs of exhaustion. He must be under pursuit right now. Wang Lin's gaze flickered, and his body moved swiftly. His figure flickered across the starry sky, each flicker covering an immense distance. After a moment, Wang Lin noticed that Tua Sen had stopped pursuing him, further confirming his suspicions. But Wang Lin knew this would only be temporary. Tua Sen had been arrogantly thriving in the ancient star for many years, and there had to be a reason for that. His powerful physique, capable of killing anyone, was extraordinarily rare. Without a doubt, Tua Sen would resume his pursuit in a short time, and Wang Lin was certain of it. Time was running out. He needed to recover to his peak as quickly as possible. He pushed forward at full speed, frantically traversing the starry sky. Only by shaking off Tua Sen can I send Li Qianmei to Blue Dream Dao Sovereign. After I devoured those hundreds of cultivators, I also absorbed their memories. Blue Dream Dao Sovereign, one of the 5 great elders of the ancient star, resides atop Blue Mountain, home to the Blue Silk Clan. Wang Lin's figure flashed across the stars, his divine sense expanding. Moments later, a cold light flashed in his eyes as he sensed a cultivation star in the distance, a place where many ancient star cultivators resided. At this moment, I cannot afford to show mercy. I was born and raised in the inner realm. Sooner or later, the battle between the two realms will come. Killing one more person now means one less force for the outer realm in the future. This is a war between realms, and there is no right or wrong. Wang Lin's speed suddenly surged, and his body emitted loud cracking sounds. The black mist that had previously collapsed now gathered once again, transforming into overwhelming mist that enveloped him, propelling him toward the distant cultivation star. His speed grew faster, breaking through the starry sky and drawing closer. The cultivation star ahead was shrouded in darkness, filled with swamps and an abundant amount of spiritual energy. Not only were there cultivators, but there were also numerous spirit beasts. Yet, what was strange was that the star was filled with resentment, a dense aura of hatred that nearly reached the heavens. As Wang Lin neared, an ear-piercing shriek echoed from the cultivation star. The formation on the star was activated, seemingly aware of his arrival through some unknown method. But to Wang Lin, the formation's activation speed was too slow. In the instant the formation opened, he shifted and charged in, his black mist erupting with a deafening roar, scattering into hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands of parts, launching a frenzied devouring spree across the cultivation star. The sound of anguished screams suddenly erupted across the cultivation star filled with resentment, shaking the very heavens. All cultivators on the star were immediately surrounded by black mist. Their bodies rapidly withered, and all their vitality, bloodlines, and soul essence were absorbed by the black mist. Which demon cultivator dares to come to my demon-devouring star to devour spirits? An elderly figure in a green robe shot up from the cultivation star, roaring at the black mist in the sky. A green aura faintly flickered around his body. He was a mighty cultivator who had reached the first decay of heaven and man, great divine ability cultivator. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed coldly in the black mist. Licking his lips, he swayed, and his entire body transformed into a streak of red lightning from the extreme realm. He tore through the mist and shot straight toward the elderly figure. The elder's expression changed. Just as he was about to resist, a dark and cold voice echoed suddenly. Freeze. With a single word, the elder's body froze in place, and in that moment, life and death hung in the balance. Wang Lin, transformed into a bolt of red lightning, crashed into the elder's body with a thunderous roar. The elder let out a horrified scream as his entire body was immediately engulfed by the black mist.